Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world today. I hope you're absolutely fantastic. So let's get into what's happening with Bitcoin right now. And man, I've got to say, trading gets super frustrating when you know you're right and then you don't profit from when you're right. Yesterday, you guys see the screen? Okay, there was profit there. I opened up 4 trades knowing that price was going to go down, and it just hung and hung and hung and hung and hung and hung around. And then today is Thursday, so it's been consolidating since Sunday, and I knew because of the 1 to 8 that it had to go down. Yeah, it's the 4 trades that I opened up there. Maybe just want to sit this one out, and then as I sit out, down goes the price. How freaking irritating. So the reason I brought that up is because with the AI system that I've generated, it goes directly through the process, right through to the order book, and does all the trading on my behalf. And these irritated emotions aren't felt, but also I don't lose days through consolidation because it's a 30-second chart. There are multiple opportunities within periods of consolidation that exist in that period. So I'm just kind of sharing my frustration, going like, the stuff I talk about is not thumbsuck hearsay, hyped up YouTuber kind of rubbish. It comes from experience, the pains and agonies of going through the trading experience, going, guys, we've got an uptrend happening on the 2048. There's going to be continuation over here on the 512, and then on the 1 to 8 it's got to go down so it gets its next anchor point before it goes back up again, and then miss out on the opportunities. Even though I'm at the trade desk, I'm active, I'm doing the right stuff, knowing what's going to happen, so I've got everything in play, and then miss out on the opportunity that I deserved, that I said what was going to happen days in advance. So again, like, I'm looking forward to the next evolution and breakthrough in this space where intelligent thinking manages the charts 24/7 and automates the trades on our behalf, instead of having to go through the pains of being human, the disappointments, opportunity lost, all those levels of feelings. So whilst people are frowning on AI, I am absolutely bullish on AI for the automation reasons, especially in the fintech industry, financial technologies, because we don't need this anymore, retail traders. All right, so let's have a look at whether or not we got a confirmed 20 points in or what's going to happen next. So for the time being, what I'm hoping is happening is that we've got a confirmed 20 points here at 20.8, and price is going to take us to higher highs in this direction. I'm not sure why I was this optimistic in my last forecast. Maybe I saw something there that I didn't necessarily see right, like up front. So yeah, I'm going to lean into that. Oh, I see a wire as to this is. I'm going to close this door. The main window. Alright, so the reason why I'm suggesting that we get price out here is because the convergence of time along a support line gives us price. And when I look at the most likely connections of where everything comes together, the sine wave is at a bottom turn. We've got your arc 4 as well as the 1/2, and then the 32 and 50 on our time forecasting all kind of comes together and suggests that this is the most likely outcome for the 2048. Going down to the 512. I don't really like looking at the oscillator because it freaks me out sometimes. It's kind of like the shadow to what is. And as it's a lagging indicator, I get put off by watching it converge and then not follow through. Like for example over here, the way that they get really close to one another and they don't mimic what's actually happening in the market or what's happening below. It's quite off-putting because decisions are kind of made on that by like the lazier traders, and then it just throws people off. So I think on the 512, what we're going to do is just have a good old top to bottom grasp, or run through the rules to see what we're looking at here. Okay, so let's look at trend direction. We've had quite an aggressive extended uptrend here on the 512. 4 above 2, 2 above 10, 10 above 8. Generally, when it's that extended, it's only natural for what goes up, things should turn around and go back down. However, it seems to be kind of hanging on up there. 20-point spacing. 4 going to 5. So I'm going to pull that back a little bit. It could continue to do that as it is shifted onto a different support line. So if it breaks below the support line, then that's something to reevaluate. But I think if we're going to get the trajectory that the 2048 is suggesting, then we should kind of see it going up over there. Alright, so in terms of scaling, I think we're fine with that. Kill zone says we got some energy up front, but then it crumbled down. It could just be repositioning, not too clear at the time being, but we'll have to let that play out. The time projection isn't very clear. I suppose there is some interaction here in arc 4. So 100%, 200%, here's 150%. So that kind of lines up, but I'm not necessarily seeing too much of the cube roots agreeing. So the cube roots actually said 16 and 100%, which it did kind of turn around at. So I guess we've got to take a look at and see whether or not that's where that's going to turn to the downside. The rest, I'd say maybe is out here, but it's kind of like fishing out in the dark. It's not necessarily too convincing. So the biggest, I guess, for the 512 combo of forces is here and has happened already. So that's going to confuse things. If price wants to go up, so like assuming that it wants to go up on the 2048, this is going to really make things a little bit unclear if it goes down based on being a confirmed turning point over there. So we'll keep an eye on that. I think price should make it up here. If we're looking at the 150% on time, I'm just not sure why we don't have another good position for the cube root, which could be maybe to do with this. So let me just try something real quick. No, obviously I won't make the change. So what I'm thinking is that perhaps the market structure could be relooked at. So that will be potentially one 2, 3, 4. I don't really see anything else. If you guys got something else, let me know on the 5, 1, 2, because that will give us a good indication of what's going to transpire next. I mean, the crumbling doesn't make it easy. Well, like when things are consolidating, it doesn't make it easy to see distinct turning points, especially whilst price is going up and up and up and up. Maybe I'll just kind of go past the cube root in the sense that it's not giving us too much heads up on what's going on next. The oscillator suggests a turn to the downside, but I have seen it open up even though it looks like it's going to close and hasn't switched just yet. So we'll have to see what happens with this interaction along the 1/2. Price projection, time gives us price, so I'm going to go for 117 over there for the time being, and that's based on support and resistance. So the 512 is a bit of a red flag. We don't quite know whether or not it's already hit a turning point or if there's going to be climb to the upside. I guess we'll have to wait until maybe tomorrow or Monday to get a clear trend definition. So the next thing is for price to go up on the 512, we would need to see a turning point around about now on the 128. And like I said, I should have gained on this move down. I've called it 3 days ago. I said turning point was in, it's got to go down. I was nervous about it because I don't like to make counter trend trades, but I mean, it is Thursday today, 4 days into the week, which means this entire week you would not have been allowed to trade, and that kind of irritates me. So I opened up those positions, took my losses, and now I'm waiting to really capitalize on the trade action that I feel I deserved. However, I have missed out on that move. So the question to me is, again, where is this gonna turn and climb from? Here is a potential, and I'm hoping that it is there so that we can get some clarity on what the 2048 is going to do next. Right now, it's a little hard to say. So let's go from the top. Trend direction. So over here, I'm not an Elliott Waves fan. I've tried to trade with them and they've got mixed results. So I kind of didn't work with them much more. Like you just kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 to this thing, and then 3 over here. It's just like, it's not very, I don't think Elliott Waves are too good. But what I have noticed with working with MTOPS is that there is a bit, kind of typically a change in trend when there's 1, 2, 3 consecutive turning points, and then there's a change in trend. So that's what I'm thinking here. We've had this down, and now I'm assuming we're going to get higher highs and higher lows. All right, so trend direction, we've discussed it, turning around. Turning point spacing, I think we're at the middle of a quadrant, so I'm going to assume that there's going to be some movement from here for the time being. We'll have to see what tomorrow brings. Scaling's fine. Kill zone was very messy, quite disappointing. but also indicative, I suppose, to say that it didn't really want to go down too far. And obviously the market's got to move in zigzags, so it couldn't not go down at all. So I don't really know if it's going to be much continuation from here, or if there's going to be a turning point. So again, that's what we're waiting on. Then let's go for time projection. I'm not seeing too much confluence along the time bar, so that's a concern. And also I don't see much cube roots standing out here either. Let's move on from that. Oscillator still open and down. Price projection, it's at, I think, the 50%, and then support and resistance, we're down here at the 1/1 and arc 3. Hopefully price stops and goes up. It's best to have everything working together. It's just these transition periods that get quite frustrating. So yeah, if you've had a frustrating week, it's not your fault. The markets haven't been desirable, and I think after a poor week comes a good week. So just don't be frustrated for too long, because once we start getting confirmation again, which is, I guess, early into next week, there should be some positive response. Yeah, it looks like it's building quite strongly to the upside now. What I do want to do again, as I have been, is call on Ganzilla, which is so cool. I can't believe this is possible these days. And then just see what the Cosmos has for us today. Still a lot of activity out here. But I think what I'm going to do to keep it a little bit more realistic is just do increments of 100 and then see what's focused with a near vicinity of what price wants to do. Also, whilst I'm at it, I'm just going to use the low, I guess, of this cycle, and that'll be 48,000. I think that's too low. 74,000. Maybe go on this low over here. So 100,000. Alright, got a lot of moon active right now. And let's see what that means according to our AI analysis. Honestly, I can't believe this is possible. It's so great. All right, so it looks like the prediction is it's going to go up. So we got the Sun, Pluto trine, Moon in Capricorn, as it's out the way there. Let's try this again. So it's the trine is a positive aspect. It's a green-like triangle. Moon in Capricorn suggests that Bitcoin will likely go up with moderate volatility due to Mars and Saturn, Neptune influences. And that's what I've been hoping for, really, is that this is the confirmed turning point and that we go up from here. So let me just bring out the other rings to see whether or not we've got some connection with the previous price action. Just from first glance, it doesn't look too convincing unless I bring the scaling in a bit and try to connect it. So like, to that effect. Yeah, I'm hoping this works out because trading in trend is just so rewarding. Right, I'm going to go on the Ganzilla and my hopes that this is the case, and then let's see what happens from tomorrow. If it is the case, I would suggest that we should keep an eye out for something like that. Which actually coincides with the 512. So I see 116,000 here, and then the 512 is around about that as well. 116,000. That's it for now. I'll catch you with the next one.